Hello, everybody. This is Bulls and Red on a Sunday, following that epic clash versus FC Augsburg on Saturday. We decided to put in an extra episode tonight. And of course, we are your football podcast in English about RB Leipzig. We're at home at Leipzig, and this one is made for you for wherever you are on this planet of ours. And Richard, before I ask you how you doing, I'm going to tell you how I feel, because I feel... And you know why. So how do you feel today?
I'm still hyped. I'm fine. And I had so many victory laps because of my great prediction.
We come to that in a
ball
second.
Was on fire.
I prepared something for you, by the way. But when you talk about this prediction, before we do, it's really funny because I met you yesterday and that wasn't planned. So yesterday when I arrived at the stadium, I walked with some other people and I had my first little beer. And I walked around to my new seat in my new block. And I was there at the top of the stadium looking down the pitch and looking down the stairs. There was a guy coming up and he looked funnily very familiar and he grinned at me and it was you. So that was really nice.
Yes, spontaneously, I bought a ticket because I had some time, did all my duties in the garden, and I was looking for you, and I was quite happy too that I found you that early in this crowded area, and we had a quite nice afternoon, hadn't we?
It was great, but let's get back to your victory laps, and they were fully justified. And let me play you that little clip that I prepared for you, because in last episodes, gosh, you got everything right.
Really convinced from the deepest point of my heart or anywhere in my body that we go away with a win on Saturday. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to away with a win 4-0, 4-0 or something like that. Something.
Whoa.
They don't do that much different from the other games, so to speak. But suddenly this little lasts little steps in your performance is that will lead you to finally find the back of the net. And Sesko scores twice, Xavi once, and Openda.
I'm not worthy. So you were damn right about the score, 4-0. And you even predicted who would score, and Sesko would score twice. That in itself was genius. And of course, everybody could have suspected that Openda would put one in the back of the net, but Xavi as well. Guys, you weren't there, but Mr. Richard was grinning from side to side, jumping up and down for joy, and really pointing out several times during the match or after the match that, of course, he got about everything right. So,
congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, thank you. But it's like if you're talking bullocks for a whole year, and then finally that day come, we hit perfectly once. Oh, come on. I think it's okay.
But you said something really interesting in your prediction as well, and something that Marco also picked up in the press conference after the match. He said it only takes a little bit to perform and to get in the right result. That is exactly what he said as well. He said it doesn't take much. It didn't take much for the squad, for the players to turn things right, but they had to do it. They had to perform and they had to put in this effort. And I had to think of that as well, because you also said, just play football, keep it simple, don't overthink, don't overdo it, just keep it really, effective. And that's what Sesko did with his first goal. He just took the ball and he hit a strike and got it in the back of the net. Beautiful. And my reaction to that was, oh, that was simple. I don't know about you. I know we were just jumping up and screaming, but it looked so simple, didn't it?
Yes, indeed. And I was so glad that he tried at least.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared about much if this thing went into the back of the net or not, because, hey, it's so cool that finally anybody took the courage and shoot from like 20 yards or 22 meters or whatever that was. And this was the hardest shot. And okay, it was well placed just besides the goalpost, but I think a top-tier Bundesliga keeper might have saved this one. But anyway, this shot has to be taken, and that's what he did, and that was what made me unhappy about that.
I apologize that I was laughing, but I had to remember. I just remembered what you said right afterwards. After you scored, you said, "Den hätte man auch mal halten können," meaning the goalkeeper could have held on to the ball. But you said before the match, it seems that the goalkeeper of Augsburg is not that secure, and
he didn't prove me wrong.
He didn't prove you wrong either. No, and he had some good scenes as well, some good saves, but he did concede 4 goals. But he didn't look like he was really secure all the time. And I'm sure he'll improve during the season. But this one, just went past him. Also, the second goal was beautiful. The header going into the goal, Sesko up in the air. So everybody calls him Air Sesko. That was just amazing. And in really short succession as well. That really helped to settle the game in the first half, didn't it?
Perfectly executed, of course. Yeah. The header, he was right on point in the air and then headed it back to the direction from the ball came from, and that was absolutely unsavable for any keeper on this planet.
Let me play you a clip that I prepared because I put the 2 goals above one another, so you may have a little bit of echo, but I thought if he scores twice, we should, really appreciate that. Guys, you have to really acknowledge that the perfect way of pronouncing his last name is Sesko over here. Like, Richard just said it.
Yeah, it's Sesko. Get used to it.
That really eased our nerves, didn't it? It was it calmed down, and everybody, I couldn't believe it because it was the kind of, you call it bounce back game. And it promised to be that. But I had a feeling after the second goal, they took it slow a little bit. And there was a scene where there was a penalty awarded to Augsburg. My first reaction was, it was never a penalty. But to be honest, I'm way up in the air. I mean, how can I see this, especially with my glasses on? But of course, he got a contact there. And then something happened. Something really strange happened. We got really emotional during the penalty. Listen to this. We have to put this music over because I had a lot of foul language, so can't broadcast that, I'm afraid. Yeah, I got really emotional, I'm so sorry. And I hope there weren't too many kids who understood English.
But hey, that was the very first penalty that Pete saved since February 2017, excuse me.
2017. I mean,
2017.
The most famous one
years,
versus Demirovic was crossbar in Berlin. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It was amazing.
Me neither. So there were 22 consecutive attempts without a save. So 20 goals he conceded and 2 misses. And so, the 23rd try, he finally made his save again. Congratulations to him.
Wow. So that was amazing. And yes, I kind of freaked out. You did as well, but I was a bit, I think, less polite in the words that I chose. But brilliantly, it was a good really good first half. We enjoyed that. And the second half was even better because I was getting 2 cups of beer or glasses of beer or cups of beer. And it took a little bit longer to get back to my new seat. And as I was walking upstairs, and you sort of walk at the top ring, if I want to explain that. But you can still see the pitch, so that was good. And by the time I was about to maneuver my way down, the steep stairs to get to the row where I'm sitting, and you were there, I saw Openda stealing a ball and scoring the 3rd goal. That was like the 46th minute. Thank you, Mr. Openda. Next time, can you wait until I sit down? But it was nice to watch. And everybody's going to be happy to hear this. I didn't spill any beer. I maneuvered my way down and we sat down. But the 3rd goal right after halftime, that really helped as well. And Marco Rose talked about this in the press conference. And the assistant manager, he actually pointed out a couple of things that they could do. Sometimes use a deep ball or steal the ball, even when Augsburg is trying to do a build-up, and that's what he's done, basically. Just got the ball, nicked it, and put it away. So that was beautiful. And also the fact that Xavi scored in the end as well really helped as well, especially for Xavi. And what a goal it was, because I would break my foot if I hit the ball like him, and I would definitely break it. Everybody was relieved. It was a grand afternoon. Beautiful. We celebrated. We had a good time as well. Makes us hopeful that this continues, but they have to make sure it does continue, doesn't it? But I got one question for you. In your prediction, in the last episode, you said we need to fire shots from all angles. So they pretty much tried that. That's good. But did you see enough crosses from our David Raum?
Yes, I didn't have the number here, but I have a key takeaway for this person.
Okay.
Here are my notes, my preparation for this episode, because to me this is the unsung hero of this game, especially because everybody's talking about now. Hey, we're finally back on track. Sesko scoring, Openda, and so on. But David Raum, my gosh, he is a true leader, and hear me out. He is our future captain. So Willi Orban is not the youngest player anymore. And David Raum, my gosh, he's on fire for 90 minutes, unlimited dedication, offensively and defensively as well. And always the first one. And it was several times who perks somebody up after a missed opportunity or a bad decision or whatsoever. I think he had this two remarkable crosses. So the one everyone has seen, that led to the 2-0 from Sesko, and then the second half he had another one where he went to the goal line quite nicely. I'm not quite sure. I don't think that this was the 4-0. I'm not sure if that was the cross from him, but he had lots of opportunities.
Well, it was him first, then Sesko, and then Xavi just putting it in. Yeah, you're right. So you're right. You're actually right.
So I had two assists. No one talking about 2 assists and all the other things defensively as well that he did right yesterday. So David Raum, I tip my hat. What a game.
Wow. What about our latest Dutch edition, number 3, who looks like, he almost looks like Upamecano as well. I know Chad came on and he looks like Upamecano. But what about him? Yeah. Because I kind of noticed he's getting more and more, playing more and more of an offensive part in the offense instead of staying back. So he's moving forward a lot more often.
True. He had the most touches yesterday from every player from our lads. And I think, give him some more games. I think he will need 3 or 4 more games, and then he will do the same things that David Raum is doing on his side, and then he will finally be arrived in our roster, is familiar with our playing style. And yes, yesterday it was a nice, nice performance of him, but I think it's far away from what we can expect.
Okay, that's really makes me very optimistic. Also, we're not talking about Castello. I thought he was very solid as well. He was really good. I think the defense was quite solid as well. So yesterday was a really good performance. And Pete, apart from the penalty, did he have to make any really difficult saves?
Not as far as I remember.
Don't remember either.
But he was awake and focused all the time. So there was some crosses where he was on point. So he took the balls out of the air where that came into his range, and he stayed on the line. Yeah. That balls simply that doesn't came into his area. So yeah, from him too, very solid performance yesterday, and with the save penalty.
And Pete, great choice of gloves, orange gloves, beautiful. Much better than
makes the hands even look bigger.
I know, much better than Timo Werner's black ones. By the way, Timo should go orange as well. There's one more question I need to ask you. So last time we asked, about Marco Rose, because, then if things don't work out that well or seem to be difficult, people talk about the coach. Now, it was a brilliant and splendid performance yesterday. Do you think the discussion is going to stop for now? Like, this is the natural thing to do. If things going well, people stop talking. And as soon as next match doesn't work out that way, then we're going to talk about him again. What do you think?
Well, I think, imagine we only managed to get away with 1 point in total from the next 2 games at Heidenheim and at Mainz. Yeah, discussions will start over again.
True.
So for now, the situation is cleared, and I do have trust in him. And so I don't think that I don't expect that there will be another discussion soon.
Great. There's one more guy I'd like to point out. Yussuf came in the second half, and he's now got 402 caps for RB Leipzig. Thank you, Yussuf. You know, you've been around a long, long time, and the fans in the home section behind the goal in Sector B, they actually acknowledged that after the match as well. They called him over, chanting his name. And he did. He walked over towards the crowd, stood next to the goal. Pretty much in the same position where Emil Forsberg was when he cried before he left us. But this time Yussuf Pausen didn't have to cry because we just celebrated his 402nd cap. And I thought that was a really nice gesture. But he came on quite late, didn't he? And he did Yussuf things. End of quote.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's not really surprising that he is clearly striker number 3 at best. And to be honest, I don't expect him to come back from this anytime soon or anytime ever. So we have to start. I'm afraid we have to start to think about this might be his last season with us, right? So I don't think that he has a valid contract over the end of the season. And if I were the manager, if I were the front office, if I were Oliver Minzlaff or Ruben Schröder or whatever, I wouldn't offer him another one. Okay, so it's just not a guy who is capable of helping. I love him.
But let's just enjoy why he's still here. I hope he doesn't have to leave in the wintertime. We're going through tear-jerking moments there. But if they decide not to extend his contract and he does have to leave RB Leipzig, and that moment will come at some point in time, I hope he gets the proper send-off that he deserves. Because like you said, you know, he's even, I think, arguably, can't even pronounce it, he's even the bigger legend of the club than Emil Forsberg.
As long as there is not a club from Saudi Arabia or from the US, he won't leave in winter.
You're right. Yeah.
So because, okay, if there were a club that is going to sign him in winter with only 6 months rest of his contract, you know, we will get like 2 million or 3 at best. And I don't want to be arrogant or something else, but I don't think this is the amount of funds, the amount of money that RBL needs for a for a balanced account. So
true, but
I think sorry,
let's enjoy it while he's still here. But it was a beautiful match. Great to watch it with you. Thank you for stopping by. And it was a beautiful, great afternoon. But right after the match, you know, after they been cheering on and celebrating the team, the crowd turned to Wednesday. Yeah, Champions League is looming. First game at home, and we're going to check out our next opponent.
Introducing our next opponent, their Gegnercheck.
Wow, who can we expect, Richard?
Juventus Turin.
Die alte Dame.
One of the greatest club in Italian football. 36 times Italian champion, 15 times Italian Cup winner. They won basically every trophy that can be won in the European and worldwide club competitions. Hear me out. Champions League twice. Once back in those days when this one was called European Champion Clubs Cup. UEFA Cup winners, Europa League winners, winners of the Cup Winners' Cup, UEFA Super Cup winners twice, and also 2 times Intercontinental Cup winners. Let that sink in.
Yeah. A bit more than we have in our cabinet.
For now, let's talk about in 100 years' time.
Yeah, the two of us. We're going to do this podcast.
Who can say?
You never know, They might invent something.
Yeah. Okay, this is a great history. And now, most recently, they gathered the number 1 in the Serie A for this season. And so, yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, of course. But I want to point out some history, and would like to mention something that changed to the history, because some of the most Italian players of all time played for Juventus. So Del Piero was there for like 2 decades or so. Gianluigi Buffon, Chiellini, Bonucci, just to name a few. And also foreign stars has been with the club, like Zidane, CR7, David Trezeguet, Jürgen Kohler, Stefan Reuter.
Yeah, these are the best.
Yeah, of course. Didier Deschamps, and most recently Paolo Dybala. And this list is almost endless. Yeah, but on the other hand side, this club also plunged into disgrace several times. Yeah, they were involved in the so-called Calciopoli scandal, which unveiled in May 2006 when Juve was stripped of the title and relegated to Serie B. And most recently in January 2023, they were punished with a 15-point deduction for capital gain violations and was suspended from participating in the European football by the UEFA in the aftermath. So they finished 7th place despite of cut by 15 points in the 2022-23 season, but wasn't allowed to compete in the UEFA Conference League. So yeah, this is their first UCL away appearance since October 2022. Interestingly, they haven't won an away game since October 2021.
Okay.
It was a 1-0 at St. Petersburg back in those days. And I would appreciate if I can tell the same thing on Thursday.
Yeah.
So that they are still winless since October 21. So I named a few stars that they had in their great history. So let's take a look at their current roster, because there are not really much stars, okay? I would like to describe this roster young and hungry, and the star is the team. So only 3 players older than 27. One of them is their allegedly second goalkeeper, though he played versus Genoa most recently. And, the stars, so to speak, are, in my opinion, number 9, Dusan Vlahovic, 24-year-old from Serbia, 81 goals in 179 Serie A matches, and he's an old school finisher. So like prime Mario Gomez.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion, he doesn't contribute much to the development of the game. He doesn't contribute much in creating chances. But if you're looking for one in the penalty box to pass or the ball to, or do a crosser, he will be on point.
Okay.
So, they're dangerous. Left-footed, strong at headers too. And my gosh, he's a real challenge for every defense. Another guy I would like to mention is number 8, Tijun Koopmeiners. Hope I pronounced it correctly. 26-year-old Dutch midfielder. I think so. From what I have seen, at least at the footage from this season, he's the pivotal element in this squad. Nice vision, is capable of playing the perfect passes 24/7 offensively, and is also very, very, cautious defensively. You don't will see him doing mistakes that often.
Damn.
One thing that might help a little is their original captain Gatti might be out. He is dealing with a minor ankle injury at the moment. he was on the roster versus Genoa but didn't play. So he was out for now, I think he was 2 games out. And we will see if he is on the starting 11 on Wednesday. It would surprise me, to be honest. So I think it's fair to say again that this isn't a better team without him.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand side, they were capable of replacing him with Danilo instead. And he was a captain as well versus Genoa. He is now for 6 years with Juventus, played over 200 caps. And he is the one of those 3 guys that is older than 27.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of those with the bigger experience.
Yeah, one of those veterans. And they had a nice start into their league. And still without any goals conceded after 6 weeks. Wow.
Not bad.
Yeah, they won the first 2 matches, 3-0 each versus Como and Hellas Verona. Then played 3 scoreless draws in a row.
Oh, they can do that too.
Let's think they can do that too.
Oh,
so
okay.
then we cannot. So we had only 2 scoreless draws, but they had 3 versus Roma, Empoli, and Napoli at home. So, and I mentioned, I think, the 3-0 victory most recently versus Genoa already. So, yeah, as I said, still without a goal conceded. And from what I have seen and from what I saw on tape is, I think they're playing similar playing style to what our lads are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So try to get the ball and then go for it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no much ball possession game, or if they have to do the ball possession game, it seems like they don't make much out of it. So let's drop some numbers. They had 65% ball possession versus Genoa.
Okay.
But the 3 goals they scored came from counter attacks.
Whoa.
So yeah, ball winnings in midfield and then go for it. Okay, there was a penalty, but this penalty came out even from a counter attack. So I think it will be very, very important, more important than in some other games. Do not lose balls in the offensive mode.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to create something, don't lose balls, because this is not a team that take a step on the ball like maybe Bayern does and play him back to the defenders and starting from the scratch.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is a go for it, take the ball and towards the goal, let's score within 10-20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Juventus playing style, and I think it's going to be a quite entertaining match on Wednesday night.
Sounds like a spectacle. Sounds more like a 4-4. But am I right in thinking that you think that this is extremely dangerous for RB Leipzig?
I think, yeah, it will be the greatest challenge since Leverkusen week 3.
Okay.
Week 3? What the hell? Week 2?
Week 2.
It's called 2. Richard, all right. Yeah, not that dangerous as Atletico was, because Atletico is it's kind of different. But it's going to be a challenge, no doubt. So, but on the other hand side, I have this slightly feeling that their defense didn't really was challenged as well in their first games.
I was just about to ask, because there were so many weeks where they didn't concede a goal.
Yeah.
How likely, or how can a team actually score against them? If they're so it looks like they have a solid defense, but your take now is, it could be the case that they haven't been challenged as much. And if you think of our offense, who's hopefully found its way again, how can RB Leipzig make sure they score? Are they going to try to get on the counter as well? Adapt the same playing style?
That would be my approach.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to see that we are handing the ball over more often than not.
Ooh, interesting. Isn't that a bit dangerous?
Nah.
They don't know what to do with that so much?
We are struggling. We had almost 70% versus St. Pauli and didn't have much chances. We had 65% versus Union Berlin.
Yeah.
And didn't really make something out of it. So I think it would be a good idea to hand the ball more over and trying to win tackles, trying to win duels in midfield.
To be honest, this sounds to me like a potential wild game.
Yeah.
with the ball go well, end-to-end stuff are extremely entertaining, but I'm not sure if you're going to come out with the better end.
Me neither. And yeah, I told you before we started recording that I'm not quite sure what to predict here, but are we on that point yet?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. I think we're going to win close, but with a 2-1.
2-1. I don't know. I get a draw feeling. It feel like a 2-all draw, but highly entertaining match, and it could go either way. The nice thing is Juventus Turin is a team we never met, and they never traveled to Leipzig, so that is a big honor for us. It's a completely new team, and it's Champions League. And after Saturday, the crowd is really behind the team, behind everybody. We're going to be loud. We're going to be really loud and really supportive. So in that case, yes, a tight win is possible. But from what you described here, with the same playing style, and I guess I got a lot of respect for the club, Juventus Turin as well, kind of predicted 2-0 score, but you never know, You never know. Of course, we're going to work for a win as well. But having said that it's so important that, especially in offensive midfield, when we move forward, we don't lose the ball. Who can we actually get on the pitch, or Marco Rose is going to get on the pitch to ensure that this happens?
Liebe Fußballfans, wir kommen jetzt zu unserer heutigen Mannschaftsaufstellung.
Where's the Phrasenschwein? Never change a winning team.
Ka-ching.
Right, so Gulaschi, Redreder, Orban, Lukiba, Raum, Haidara, Seiwald, Nuxa, Xavi, Openda, and Sesko send out the same 11 bastards like on Saturday, because I think this is our starting 11 with all the injuries we have at the moment. I don't see any subject to change.
I'm surprised you got Seiwald in there. Now, how did you see Seiwald on Saturday, and how much does that give you confidence for Wednesday?
Honestly, I don't think that he was bad on Saturday. So he was late half a step, and he was late sometimes half a second. But if he is able to turn this slightly, behind, being behind your opponent and being late a little bit, if he's able to turn this off, he will be on point. And he has shown us that he is able to. During the Euros, it was great. 3 great matches he played. And maybe he just needs to be challenged.
I just go back to, his performance during the Wiesbaden match in the Pokal last year, which was dreadful.
That was horrible.
But a couple of days later, versus Manchester City at home, he improved so much that he kind of impressed me. So hopefully on this stage, on the big international stage, he's going to perform even better. I thought he was good on Saturday as well. However, you kind of flagged this up that it is so important to keep the ball and to move the ball forward and not to lose it, and not to be susceptible to any counter-attack. Then I think you need people who can really hold on to the ball. But at the same time, apart from Sava Schlager, I couldn't really point out who I would put on the pitch instead of Seiwald. It'll be good.
Yeah, true.
Great. Richard, it was a pleasure seeing you yesterday and today and today here as well. But now I'm going to leave you alone. And thank you for your time for this episode. This has been Bows and Red with an extra episode covering the Augsburg match, and looking forward to a Champions League clash on Wednesday. We will return at some point this week, towards the end of the week. But Richard is traveling, so I'm not really sure if we can make Thursday. It might be a day late, but we will definitely come back with an episode where we have a look at the match on Wednesday. Hopefully bring you some clips as well. And look ahead at our match versus it's Heidenheim again, isn't it? They look pretty strong this weekend. And hopefully our fans will be welcomed without the stupid stuff of last year. Oh, by the way, Augsburg didn't send in so many away fans this time. Well, they never do they? If there were 150, that was a lot. But I didn't hear anything about official protests, but that block was so empty. I didn't hear them either. I mean, Bochum was louder with the same amount of people. Maybe they drink more. And, anyways, we'll be back by the end of the week. Thank you for listening to us. If you like our podcast, we would be so grateful if you could subscribe to it on your favorite platform. You could also leave a comment or a note, a review over there. Well, that would be much appreciated. You can also contact us by email. The email is podcast@bullsinred.com. And you can find us on Twitter. Our username is Bulls in Red. Our episodes are available on YouTube as well. And what have I forgotten? I don't know. We're on Twitter. The username is podcast_RBL. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good start to the new week. Keep your fingers crossed for our clash on Wednesday. And we'll talk to you again towards the end of the week. And all we need to say now is Danke, Richard. Und auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs.